Hi there, I'm Tammy with It's All About the Dog, and here with Noelle Blair, the owner of Positive Directions Canine Academy, dog training, fabulous dog training academy in Grand Junction, Colorado.
Rated #1 by the owner and her mother.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I've been training with Noelle for about 10 years, and I know that sounds insane. Why would you be training with someone for 10 years? Don't you just train a dog once and you're done?
No, unfortunately, that's not quite how it works. Dogs, husbands, wives, it all works the same. You're going to be constantly working on your relationship the entire time that you're in it. So
that's right.
It really doesn't matter whether you've got a dog who's 8 weeks old or 8 years old. There's still
I have
things.
4 dogs, so we've got lots of training.
Lots of training.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it's fun.
It's a lot of fun.
I really love working with my dogs, whether it's teaching them a new trick or we're working on a behavior that I'm not necessarily excited about, or even if it's just going for a walk or playing in the river, whatever it is that we're doing. The more my dog knows and understands and the more control they have, the more freedom they get. And so what I would like to talk about today is how to achieve that freedom. And you do that by selecting the right type of collar. So the collar that's fitted correctly will actually give your dog more freedom as opposed to less freedom. And so that's what we're going to talk about today.
Well, and that was one of the first things I learned from Noelle, actually, in one of the first classes I ever took from her. And it was one of those aha moments where it was like, oh my God, I never thought about
well,
picking the right. I mean, and you know what? Most people go to the store and they go, "Oh, this collar's cute," and they put it on their dog, and they don't think another thing about it, not ever again.
Yep.
And I'm guilty of that, so I'm not judging. But the right collar for your dog makes a whole lot of difference, especially depending on what you're doing.
It really does.
If you're doing sports and things like that, it's different, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
All right.
And so I kind of liken it to what you decide to put on your feet that day kind of sets the mood for what it is that you're going to be doing throughout the day. So if you work in an office setting, you may have on pumps or high heels, or maybe you've got on dress shoes if you're a man. But that's not the type of shoe that you're going to go out and you're going to wade through the river in.
Go jogging.
Or go jogging in, unless you're men in heels and it's October. So that's not going to be a comfortable piece of equipment to go jogging in. So that's kind of why there's so many different types of collars out there, because each collar's got a purpose and a reason why it was invented and made. This is Gemma, by the way. I just can't believe that we neglected to introduce her. So
I know. She is
Gemma.
the star of the show, actually.
Absolutely.
So
every piece of equipment that I'm about to show you is not meant to be left on the dog unattended. So I'm going to start with the equipment that gives you the least amount of control, and we're going to work up to the one that gives you maximum control. And I'm going to go over the pros and the cons of each type of collar, and then I'm going to leave it up to you to decide what works best for you and your dog. And you may want to take your dog with you when you go to buy a collar so that you can try on the different options. And walk the dog up and down the aisles and see which one it is that's giving you the control. And a lot of places are really good. If you can't bring your dog in there with you, purchase the collar, save the receipt, don't take the tags off. When you get home, try it, see if it's what you wanted. If it's not, take it back and exchange it for something different.
But if you do come to one of Noelle's classes, they do have a field trip to Murdoch's.
Yes, and we also have equipment here. So if you are training with me, I make sure that you walk out of here with the right equipment for your dog.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. And we're going to drop a link below to Noelle's Academy and the training equipment that she has available.
Beautiful. All right, so we're going to start with, we've already talked about harnesses and why necessarily those are not the best choices. If you haven't seen that video, the link will be down on this so that you can click on it and go in and watch about detailed information about martingales and harnesses. So first one I want to show you is a flat buckle collar, and I've got a couple different types out here. So this first one is an adjustable collar. Typically this is what you're going to see when you go pick out a collar. Some of them have pretty designs on it. Usually it's got some type of a buckle system on it. It will either snap or buckle like a belt. And then there's typically a big old ring on it for tags and such. We've been taught that the collar needs to fit like this, at the base of the dog's neck, that it's comfortable and that we can move it up and down and we can get several fingers in. Now the problem with making your collar fit this way is that if I had a hold of this and she got scared, she's going to be able to flip her head out of here.
She's out of it and she's gone.
And so,
I've had that happen actually.
Yes, and now you're holding a collar and a leash and no dog, and it's like, now what do I do? So your option is you can tighten this up so that it can't slip off. But again, going back to one of our videos, when you're fitting your collar, what you want to do first is locate on the back of your dog's head between their ears. There's a little bump here. So your collar needs to be as high up as touching that bump. And then we want to make sure that it's underneath the jaw, not touching the trachea. So here, there's a beautiful little space where a collar fits and doesn't touch the trachea at all. In order to stay there though, it does need to fit kind of snug. There's a difference between snug and choking, okay? So snug means that the collar fits correctly, the dog's not under distress, and that you're able to easily manage the dog. If the collar's too big, you're gonna start losing control. The bigger the collar, the less control you're gonna have over your dog.
It doesn't fit right.
It doesn't fit right.
Just like you were talking about shoes. If you get shoes that are too big, you walk right out of them.
Right, exactly. You can tape them on, but they're not gonna fit as well.
Never gonna fit right.
As they might have been if you'd gotten a size that was right for you.
So you're really thinking about your dog's collar as your clothes.
Exactly.
You don't want to get clothes that don't fit.
Exactly, yep. That could be embarrassing for all of us.
In so many ways.
So many ways.
So many ways.
So many ways. Okay, so the collar that's going to give you the next level of control above the flat buckle collar would be what I call a slip lead. And you guys may have seen these, especially at your vet's office. You see these hanging up. When they come out and they take your dog, they will put this slip collar on and then they will escort them into the back. The way that this works is this is a collar and a leash combined. So I like the kind that are made out of cotton, not the ones that are made out of nylon. Nylon's super slick. And when you're purchasing a collar like this, the thing that you really want to pay attention to is this little tab right here. This tab is meant to go up and down. Now, as you can see, this one's super loose. So if you happen to get one that's loose like this, my recommendation is that you take it home and you wash it in fabric softener and dry it. And all these fibers are going to plump up, making this more difficult to move. The purpose of having it tight is when you put this on the dog, we put it underneath the jaw. Good girl. There we go. Behind the ears, right up against that spot on the back of the neck. And then this piece is meant to slide down and hold it in place. If it's loose, this is going to move and open up, and then it's going to slide up and down your dog's head. So the purpose of that is to make sure that this is not moving. The cool thing about these collars is that one size fits all. As you can clearly see, I can make this fit a Corgi, I can make it fit a Chihuahua, or I can make it fit a Mastiff. So they're really nice to have. And I have several of these that I actually just keep in my car in case I run into a dog that's loose. And we had that happen 10 minutes ago. We had to race out and grab a couple of dogs. So these come in really handy.
I love mine. I have a couple of those and they are so awesome.
They're really nice. Now the company that makes the ones that I like is called Mendota. And we'll put a link down there where you guys can go shopping on their website. It's wonderful. They also have them available on Amazon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Now there's a right way and a wrong way to put this on your dog. So as your dog's facing you, you want it to look like a P. So P's perfect. If it looks like a 9, it's not right. The way that you put this on the dog is you slip it over their head with the long part going across the back of the dog's neck, okay? Then you're gonna slide it up, attach, slip this piece down, and you're ready for your walk. This is great, especially because you're not supposed to have collars on your dog. So now I don't have to run around the house trying to figure out where I put my collar and where's my leash and all that kind of stuff. So I really do like these. These are not the best for dogs that are heavy pullers. They're also a little bit difficult on dogs that have those long, pretty necks. So I want you to think Doberman Pinscher, boxers, Irish Red and White Setters. The longer the neck and the slicker the coat, the more likely it is that this is going to slide up and down. Yeah. If you've got a dog like this with a little bit of coat, they're fantastic. So that's called a slip lead or an English walking lead. The next one that I want to show you is a choke collar. Now, back in the day, I've been doing this so long that I remember when the only collar options were a buckle collar, a choke collar, and a pinch collar. So, you know, these are kind of fading in popularity, and I really don't see much of them anymore. The way that you do this is you're going to drop the chain through one of the links on here. Same thing, as you're fitting this to the dog, it should look like a P. When you have this on correctly, the long part goes against the back of the dog's neck, and when you tighten, it should release, okay? So as you're walking along, if the dog starts to get out of position, it's going to tighten a little bit. That sensation tells the dog, oops, I need to move back. The pressure releases, and that keeps them in heel position. If you put this on upside down or backwards, as you're walking along, if the dog gets forward, it's going to tighten. But as you can see, there's no release, so it chokes. Hence the name choke collar.
So you want to test it out on your before you start using it.
Right. Now, like I said, there's a right way to put this on and a wrong way. So if this fits correctly, I'm going to turn Gemma so that you can see what happens to her cute little face here. So when I put this on correctly, you should see this on your dog's face, okay? See how tight that is? And it's like I can barely get it on. The reason that we want it this tight, one ear, other ear, is so that it stays where it's supposed to. And see how much chain I've got coming out of the top here? There's just not much at all. That way, I don't have to let her get way far in front of me before she feels, oops, I'm out of position. So you're not gonna have to mess with this. It's not gonna slide up and down the dog's neck. The problem with these is they come in 2-inch increments. So it makes it kind of hard to fit a 13-inch neck.
Yeah. Well, and like we talked about on the previous video, a lot of people get freaked out because they think this is too tight. But as you can see, Gemma is not distressed by this collar if it's fitted properly, right?
Oh, correct, yep. And you saw it was hard to get on, hard to get off. Not my favorite, okay? And I don't know why, but this is definitely one you never want to leave on a dog because it tightens. And once it tightens, if the collar tightens around your dog's neck, the only emotion your dog's going to feel is panic. And once they start to panic, they're going to make irrational decisions. They're going to buck, they're going to spin, they're going to try to get away from whatever it is that's causing the restriction. And in doing that, they actually endanger their lives and make it even harder by catching tags in crates or vent covers, playing with each other. If you've got 2 dogs and they're both wearing collars and one grabs a hold and the other one twists, now you got 2 dogs stuck together. So that's the purpose of why we don't want collars left on dogs unattended. Okay.
So my dogs run around naked when they're at home, and so do yours.
Yes, my dogs are naked. I kind of like to be naked at home too, but all right.
We don't want to get this video censored, so we're not going to say anymore.
No more. All right. So this one is a martingale, and we talked about that again in another video. And as you can see, I can slip this over my dog's head. I'm getting the same expression, pop those ears through, and it fits exactly where I want it to. This is also has a snap on it. So if I want to, I can just come around and I can snap it on my dog. If your dog's got a lot of coat, you may want one that you can just slip over the dog's head. Just make sure that there's not a lot of gunk sticking out of the top of it, because the more crap that's sticking up here, the more it's going to slide up and down. All right, next one. That's going to give you the next level of control. Our head collars, and I've got a couple of head collars here that I'm going to show you. There's 2 different brands that are probably the most popular. One is a Halti and one is a Gentle Leader. So we're going to start with the Halti. The Halti is going to come in a box that looks a lot like this. And these are my favorite head collars. There's, like I said, other examples out there. So when you take this out of the box, you're going to find that there's a little piece like this. It's got a little snap on it. Don't use it. Throw it away. I will show you what to do instead. So this is the nose piece. So what you do is you're going to slip it over your dog's nose, and then this piece fastens around the back of the dog's head. And as you can see, this is a little bit big, so I'm going to tighten it up and snap it.
Sure you are.
Sure I am. Did we get it?
She's got so much fur, it's hard to tell. There you go.
There. All right. The leash actually attaches underneath the dog's chin. What I like about this one, as opposed to the other one that I'm going to show you, is that this piece is broad and padded. And it's got these extra pieces here, making it impossible for your dog to reach up and pull it off of the nose. This is not a muzzle. Some people might see this and go, oh my God, it's a muzzle.
It's not a muzzle.
But it's not. She, as you can see, I can stick my finger in there. She can bark, she can bite, she can eat, she can drink, she can do all the things that dogs do. The way that this works is you attach your leash underneath here to a flat buckle collar, and then as she's starting to pull, I'm going to pull back here with my leash, and you see what happens to her head. It kind of pulls it into the chest. That is uncomfortable for a dog to continue forward pulling. So as they're pulling, your dog sticks their head out, kind of like a turtle sticking their head out of a shell. Okay, so it's really important that you have this fitted correctly, that this is nice and loose and comfortable and not too tight. So that is the Halti. And then I've got a Gentle Leader here. This is what these look like. And the difference between the two is the nose piece. So on this one, there is a snap that fits underneath the nose piece. These are a little more difficult to fit. When you fit these, the first thing you want to do is make sure that you've got it fitted around the dog's back of the neck. So I'm going to tighten this one up.
There you go, Bean.
And tightened it too much. Usually I'm pretty good at eyeballing these.
I got one of these one time several years ago, and I had a heck of a time figuring out how to put it on, so I threw it in the trash. Just saying.
Yeah, these take a little bit of time to figure out how to do.
Just so difficult. This one is so much easier.
Yeah, okay, then you're going to put the nose piece over, and I have somehow managed, there we go. Okay, so as you can see, there's no extra piece here. So dogs that have dew claws, that's that extra thumbnail that's down there, they can reach up and pull these off of their dogs, or off of the nose. Once you get this set where you want it, there's a little snap that you snap underneath. And as you can see, the bridge of this, it is padded, but it's not nearly as wide. These are definitely more reactive. If you've got a dog who is a great big puller, they're going to respond better probably to the gentle leader than they will the halty. If you've got one who is definitely a puller, but maybe not quite so lunging and that kind of thing, then the halty might be the best choice for you. For these, it seems like most dogs really don't care for the feel of this. Jim has been a model for me for a very long time, and so sometimes when you put this on, they act like a bucking bronco coming out of a chute.
Like mine.
If that happens, my suggestion to you is put it on and then do something fun with your dog. Give them a special dinner or a treat, or go play a game with them. But don't start pulling on the head right away. It takes them a minute to get used to the sensation of these collars. Okay? So that's all I want to talk about today. I do have a couple other collars I think I'd like to show you, but we're going to save that for another video.
Okay. That sounds good. All sounds great. Well, thanks for watching. Please hit the like button if you found this video helpful. Subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.